Alright, and I completely forgot to turn on the camera there. Alright, boop. Nope, wrong one. Hold on. I am a dummy. 1 second. Boop. There you go, there's
Secret
Elias.
name. Technical difficulties. We love it.
As usual, with any stream, but hello! Welcome to today's episode of Devil Hunter X Trigger. We are currently only missing a Lizard Boy, because Elliot has not been feeling too well tonight. So, we'll be carrying on with the group here. And thankfully, joining the table is Middi! Hell yeah!
Hello.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and swap the music and we will get started immediately. So, Gwen, if you'd like to describe your character and tell us in what state we find her in before the events of the first session.
Sure. Um, Gwen is a hedge witch. She is a half elf. She wears sort of like a gambeson armor with a little bit of purple. And she has a pet raccoon that helps her sort of navigate different different parts of the forest and things like that. She has a tall staff that is sort of made of old wood that has little bits of moss on it, and she has a smaller witch hat on top of her head that has sort of like a little pendant on top. And yeah, that is Gwen. And she is currently, I'm assuming, in the forest somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And where in the forest would Gwen be at this time?
I would say she's probably with her coven.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially just sort of looking around and sort of getting the lay of the land and understanding what's going on in the greater part of the forest.
As you make your way through and just explore the forest itself, can you go ahead and give me just a general knowledge check for me, please?
Sure. That is a 13 with hope.
13 with hope. What the? Oh,
Wait, hold on.
oh.
Hold on. Missing a part of that. It is a, what did I say it was?
13 with
13.
hope?
It's actually 15. Sorry, I forgot to add my knowledge bonus. So 15.
15 with hope. Go ahead and take a hope. As you're going through and just looking through the forest itself, it's definitely less than what you'd expect. Like, it's more brimming with magic than you would expect at first. What kind of magical aspect would Gwyn see in this moment with that 15?
I think she would see, I mean, depending on what the greater forest looks like. Um, I think she's more curious about what's going on in, what the trees look like and sort of like how run down the forest is.
The forest itself, with that 15, with Hope especially, it's not as barren and decayed as greater parts of the Astoria Domain are, with it, because as you've been just traveling around, either with your coven or honing your individual skills and knowledge, you've seen parts of the domain as well that have been rotted by just the descent into this border between the material plane and the realms below. But with the forest here, it's strange. It's as if like the forest itself is still clinging to that vibrancy, and with the trees in one part shifting to some unnatural colors, but some retaining a just immense green, almost to a point of taking like almost to a point of where you think it might be, like especially from from one of the leadership's like teachings, more or less like closer to a fey tree than anything else. And this kind of like landscape is just ever present within this part of the forest itself.
Okay.
And as you're exploring around, can you just go ahead and give me an instinct roll for me, please?
Sure. It's not great. It's a 6 with
Ooh.
hope.
6 with hope. Go ahead and take a hope. You don't sense the full breadth of this, but as you're exploring the forest itself, getting the lay of the land, making sure everything's healthy, you feel you feel a rumble from the ground itself. It's as if like the entire ground is shaking with some sort of like negative energy. Do you try to connect with it to gain a better understanding, or are you just letting the moment pass?
I think she'll try to connect with it. I think she wants to better understand what's going on.
Alright, go ahead and give me a knowledge roll, and I will let you roll this with advantage.
Okay. $18 with fear.
Alright. As you kind of instinctually just reach out to this energy, and just the feeling that washes over you is dread in this instance, and you gain the full scope of what's going on. As you kind of reach out to this energy, nice. As you reach out to this energy, you feel as if nature itself is calling to you, but it's more so crying for help. As you attune to this energy as well, you feel as if the entirety of the Astoria Domain is sinking further into the realms below, closer to the demonic powers. And there's this pit in your stomach that you can't shake. But there is, from that 18, there was a point of searching in the back of your mind. You know the origination points. You feel them in the back of your mind, and you can, if like someone showed you a map of the Astoria Domain, you would be precise and point out where the origination points of these spires, of this point of malice is. Through this connection now with this malicious energy.
Okay.
And as you do, you see a one or two trees just briefly wither and then reconstitute, as if this energy is violently trying to enter this grove.
Okay. Am I able to guess, like, a direction that this is coming from? Like, is it towards a specific city? Is it towards a specific direction that this is, like, being pulled from?
The energies present, it's going, there is a northern, southern, and western direction from the forest that you're residing in at this moment in time. If you look at the lore documentation in the region map, basically you are in the forest near the big, between the mountains and the pool of water there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in that little forest there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So the spires are the three skulls on the map there. Like you would get that like approximation. The closest one,
Okay.
the closest one you could feel out would be to the west, past the mountains and through Duskhaven.
Okay.
And you would be familiar with Duskhaven since that is the closest like bigger settlement to this forest as well. It is up to you if you've traveled through it a couple times already, but there are people who are there, namely the Angels Fury Guild leader who is familiar with your coven. Who knows
I
who
would.
you are and what you guys do.
Okay. I would say she's probably joined like the leaders on some sort of like a trip or two, into the city. I don't think she's ever taken like leadership of any kind. She's sort of like currently like a follower. And so I guess she'll turn to like her coven's group leader and go, have we found any leads on how we want to handle what's happening?
This is to Nepico, Alkillis, or Aeson.
I would say it's probably to Nepico because I think she's probably currently on like the tracking part of this side of the group.
Nepico is a fawn, auburn brown, white spots, and you feel like there's just this kind of intensity as she's tracking around, looking around the forest, picking up a similar situation that you have from just the energies abound and like the trees withering, reconstituting, picking up the small intricacy details of everything. And leads, maybe. I'll turn this to you. What do you think, Gwyn? Have you picked up anything, dear?
Well, I think they're coming from the spires, but I don't think we really have the power to traverse and try and check those out. But we could try to see maybe we could check with the local town and see if there's anything there that they've heard of recently within the last couple of weeks. I don't think we've been there in quite some time.
And you see at around this time, Aeson, a fairy, it strangely large for a fairy, about a foot in size, massive limehawk moth, older than Nepico, but lands nearby you two, and the smaller tracking squad that you guys kind of accrued. The spires have been a recent addition. I sense that there is nothing good that will come of them.
Perhaps we need to take a look. I'm more than happy to try and see what it's about. If maybe we could take a group of us to check out and see if there's more information that maybe we all, other than us, have seen in the forest.
You see Nepiko and Aeson kind of look at each other, and Aeson nods. And he says, "I'll scout ahead. I'll fly back around the main roads to Duskhaven and see if there's anything that anyone else has picked up. I'll leave the main troop of airborne scouts with you all."
Okay.
Nepiko nods. At the minute, from what you gathered as well, from the splitting of the different parties you guys currently have, Alkilis is more so on the farther side, more closer to the water, while you guys are more on the side edge of the forest, while Aeson was taking the skies with a like smaller troop of less experienced fairies.
Mm-hmm.
But as Aeson flies towards Duskhaven, you feel from this like the remnants of the arcane energy, and from what you picked up, these spires themselves, they rose from the ground with the ground shaking as it happened, and the energy itself permeating through the entire domain. Something in the back of your head is not sitting right. Why would this happen? And there's that question there of why did this happen? Why now?
Mm-hmm.
As Aeson flies from the forest, we're gonna go ahead and pan back to our troop of guys making their way from Duskhaven. Hylas, as you guys are approaching the kind of the rough terrain around the forest, that's been kind of getting a bit lush, a bit more vibrant as you guys have been going around. What would you guys be doing in this instance, as you guys are like going over hills, going over bumps? Are you keeping an eye out, or are you guys just trekking as far as and fast as you can?
I would say we were definitely keeping an eye out if we are still out in the open. Being this seasoned and weathered, Hylas definitely knows that if you're exposed, you're in danger.
As you go ahead and do that, can you go ahead and give me a instinct roll, please? And same for you, Felipe.
Is this specifically like a navigation roll?
Either navigation, perception.
I only ask because of my community, Ridgeborn. I have advantage on rolls to traverse harsh environments. Would this be considered a harsh environment?
I would say so. Yes. Go ahead and roll it.
Yes.
I got a 14 with Hope, Storyteller.
Nice, thank you.
Uh, 23 with Fear.
With Fear, all right. And Felipe, take a Hope. Yeah. Sorry. Hylas, remind me how much you rolled. Sorry, my apologies.
23 with Fear.
23 with Fear and 14 with Hope. The first thing that you notice, Felipe, is something that completely escapes your mind at this point, Hylas. Your lizard friend, the Dracona, gone.
I do a full 360 and say,
And Hylas, even with that 23 with Fear, you kind of instinctually just tunnel vision, and you don't even hear Felipe in this instance. It's as if you've gone into your own little bubble of like focusing on like little surroundings, little bits of like traversal, like going into that groove again. but at a detriment of like your companion right now that is by your side. You do not hear him in this instance, but what you do see is this traversal through the rocky kind of exterior, the hills, the craggy road. It's tough, but you've done this before. You've traversed through. But the one thing that catches you off guard with that 20 plus roll is a fairy. Rather big fairy. About I'd say far range up in the sky. And I'm gonna go ahead and see if they spot you. Oh, okay. Hylas, as you're looking around, do you try to catch the attention of the fairy, or because you would know that there are some like scouts and things like that that are traversing through the skies purely because of their stature as fairies, as wingborn creatures.
Definitely. I would probably make some sort of like or bird call imitation.
All right. So yeah, you see this kind of again taller for a fairy, about like foot, massive live hawk moth, broad like kind of like lithe in a way as a fairy would, but the kind of insectoid moth features just make this creature both menacing but also welcoming in a strange way. Hylas, I will ask you this: how often have you interacted with the like witches' covens surrounding and traveling the Astoria Domain?
Probably quite a bit. It's one of those like probably thinks that safe spaces are few and far between, and the witches' coven, although on the outskirts of civilization, are definitely a great ally to have.
As you flag down the ferry, it lands on your shoulders. All right, old fart.
Doing just all fine.
Good to see you still kicking.
Just barely.
All right. I suppose you and the kid here are coming from Duskhaven.
And there's one other. Oh, there was one other with us, but they seem to have disappeared.
He buggered off!
I see. Huh.
I went and scarpered!
Right. Okay. Good that we met each other on the way here. Are you guys heading to the forest as well, or because we do need information of what's going on in Duskhaven? I was just on the way there.
Yeah, we have all the info just coming from Duskhaven, so
I see.
I'm sure anything you might need, we can tell you.
Around this time as well, for timeline's sake, you guys have been traveling for about, I'd say, like 4 or 5 hours, maybe, like by foot.
I would like to ask, if that's the case, how long have you been without our lizard companion?
I'd say about an hour.
And out all of that! Traitor!
Stealthy. But you wouldn't, Hylas, you would know from like past travels there would be another hour of just on foot travel for you guys to get to the forest. So it was about half an hour for Aeson to fly out from the canopy and meet you guys here. What's been going on with the Angels Fury Guild? Are they tackling the situation as much as they can?
As much as they can, which is just us at the current moment.
I see. Short on hands as usual.
As usual.
Alright. At least the forest is holding out. Alright, we do have... I have felt that the spires have been unleashing this energy across the domain and not looking good, but we'll catch everybody up when we head back. I'll lead the way. I'll lead the way to everyone else. Follow me. And Aeson takes off I'd say about like 20 feet into the air, but still, like, you guys can still very much see the Limehawk moth, like, rather clearly in the sky in front of you. Yes, Felipe.
Just a question regarding fairies and, like, I suppose things kin to the fae, like you in this world. Is that a normal type of thing in terms of an interaction?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, fairies in the Astoria Domain have been more or less battle-hardened in a way.
Yeah, imagine when you're in a realm that's been beset by demons, that'll happen.
Yeah. And especially some witch covens, they've been scattered around, protecting forests and looking out for nature and what remains of it.
Cool, and is that a more or less universal thing amongst the Fae, i.e. there aren't any nasty fairies that kind of blur the line between demon and, like, fairy in this kind of universe?
Felipe wouldn't know.
I probably wouldn't know, right enough.
But for Hylas, you have seen some Fae getting corrupted by the curse of the everlasting flame. Post-mortem.
Ooh, that implies the image of a fairy dying, which is not pleasant.
It is not.
Well, we'll follow this lime-winged hawk moth individual.
As you do, I want... actually, can either of you go ahead and just give me a duality dice roll, just to see? As just a reaction roll, I would say, like...
So, no modifiers?
Yeah, just 2d12s, see what happens. Either one of you.
You can go for it.
Alright.
10 with hope.
10 with hope, alright. The DC, thankfully, was 10, given the guidance of the moth gentleman you guys are now carrying with. The terrain, as you guys return back, it gets smoother, and the greens become more lush. You see trees that are multicolored, some retaining that kind of greenery. You've now entered the forest. One of the liveliest forests that has been remaining within the Astoria Domain. And I will ask, Middi, what would be the name of this forest?
Oh god, you're gonna spring that on me right now?
Yeah.
Give me a second.
You're okay. As you guys are making your way through, the forest itself seems to be twisting and turning a little bit.
Reminds me of outdoors training when I was a young one.
And as this happens, for the sake of it, since I would say, Felipe, this is your first time being here, You know your way here, but you've not actually entered the forest, I would say.
That's odd.
So, can you go ahead and give me a... Can you go ahead and give me a strength check, please? This would act more of as a constitution thing. Okay.
Okay, 9 with hope. Now, I was going to say, there's no circumstance in which I could add partisan to that, is there?
I don't think so.
Okay, there you go. Fair enough. Well, 9 with hope then.
9 with hope, go ahead and take a hope as...
I'm maxed out!
We'll see what happens then. As you kind of, like, enter in the forest, by Hylas' side, your body just kind of instinctually just kind of lurches forward a little bit. And you feel as if, like, a full breath of air has entered your lungs in a very swift fashion. It's as if stepping out from, like, a very highly air-polluted area to like, basically a fresh, clean forest.
Cool, cool. Nothing weird about that.
The kind of sensation just lurches you forward and lifts your chest a little bit. You don't feel any adverse effects from this. But your body feeling more accustomed to traversing demon-infested, corroded, corrupted areas, even especially or while within Duskhaven, being somewhere that's so clean and so pure, it feels strange.
Kind of like, I've never seen the sun before, or I've never seen the ocean.
Intoxicating, isn't it?
Oh, that's a good scent, right enough. Why can't it smell like this all the time?
This is why we keep fighting. The entire world used to be just like this. Could you imagine?
I feel every single one of my family's ambitions vindicated with a single breath of air.
Actually, I will follow up on that. I will spend a fear. And Felipe, as you take this breath of air and think back to your ancestors, just a flash of memory goes through your mind of your training as a wee lad. And just, it now puts it into sharp perspective. Hylas's words ringing now through your head. This is what you were fighting for peace. For not worrying about what demon will chop your head off around the corner.
Some air that doesn't taste like fucking sulfur.
Some air that's fresh and pure.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's a very complicated, lot of emotions right now.
Go ahead and take a
I
stress.
still remember. I still remember the bruises from training and crying like when I was barely 13, 14, wondering why the hell my family were putting me through this, and the knowledge that this is why is both infuriatingly what is underpinning the necessity of it, but it doesn't take away from the sting.
Indeed. Well, as you guys make your way through the forest itself, following Aeson that's now landed below the canopy and on the forest floor, kind of more so leading you guys around the trees. What is Gwyn and Gwyn and Nepiko doing in this moment?
I think that she is probably just sort of keeping an eye out, like keeping watch to
Mhm.
make sure, to look for him to come back and just sort of pay attention to see if Ison comes back and if there's anything that Nepiko needs, and just sort of being a support at this point.
Hmm. At this point in time, you see kind of a Nepiko start to like make some sort of like small magical bonfire, kind of a resting place for you all. And Nepiko does ask you to retrieve a couple of bits of firewood and a few berries.
Okay.
Can you go ahead and make me a knowledge roll to see if you can recall where you saw like any fresh berries, big berry bushes within this fruitful forest?
That is a 12 with fear.
Well, with fear. As you look around, you see a few bushes of different sorts. It's hard to distinguish in this instance, but you have a good feeling that the one of the red bushes, with blueberries, like big red leaf bush, like small like clumps of blueberries, not blueberries, just blue big berries. That seem to be like shaped more like raspberries. You feel that is a good berry to eat in this instance.
My guy,
Okay.
did you describe IRL blue raspberries? I had a slushy 4 hours ago, and I really want another one now.
Gwen, as you pick the berries themselves, like they seem soft to the touch. You're not 100% certain, but I'd say like 80% certain that these berries are more than fine.
Okay. She picks them and puts them in like a little pouch that she has.
Mm-hmm. Easy enough to gather. Same for some firewood. And as you return, right. And so as you guys traverse the outlying forest, you reconvene with Aeson, and Nepiko has fully started the full bonfire and is roasting the berries you retrieved into a full hearty, like a kind of a berry stew in a way.
Okay.
And as you all gather, Felipe and Hylas, you do see a fawn, a bit older in age, about 34. Again, auburn with lighter spots, just by a small kind of arcane bonfire, um, making what seems to be a stew. And the smell that you get is sweet, rich in aroma. They're kind of making this kind of jam in a way.
I got peanut butter and some trail bread in my bag. That'll be magic.
Oh, hello. Nice to see you again, Hylas.
Good seeing you too.
Any word from Duskhaven?
Nothing good, I'm afraid.
I see.
Not sure if you heard or felt, but there has been a development in the overall world.
Yes, we have sensed the rising spires, and it doesn't seem to be anything good. Um, Gwen, my dear, if you can be so kind,
Yes.
can you help me divine something, please, and just sense within the realm?
Absolutely. And she will sidle up next to her and sort of lean down and kneel and sort of put her staff across her lap and sort of help in whatever way that is needed.
And Nepiko clasps your hands and looks and closes her eyes, and just you feel this kind of nature aura wash over both of you. And as this happens, Gwen, can you go ahead and make me a? Can you go ahead and make me analyze check? But I want you to add both your knowledge and your instinct modifier to this, please.
Okay.
So that would be a +3 instead of just a +2.
Okay. $12 total with fear.
Oh, with fear. As this energy channels through you, go ahead. Okay. You sense this kind of feedback of like this dark energy seeping through, and it just it makes you feel nauseous for a second, but just it you like that energy is feels so vile in this instance. It's overpowering everything that you could see. You see that Nepiko's staying strong, but at this point in time, that like tuning in to the world, it is harder than it seems. But what you, through this connection, both of you see crashing waves being parted by massive sea monsters. You see dead trees being surrounded by undead. Charred corpses rising from the ground and through the trees, walking the earth once again. And you see creatures directly from the demonic realm flying through the sky and launching hellfire onto the ground below. And the connection with nature severs. And you take a stress.
Okay.
And as just the feedback from it, the headache you feel is brief but intense. You've divined with Nepiko before. You've even led a divination and connection to this world. The Astoria Domain has not fought back in this kind of cerebral way before.
Okay. She's going to sort of like you can see sort of like sweat pooling over her brow as she like sees this, and like a look of shock covers her face as she sort of blinks out of her concentration and looks up to Nepiko to see if she also saw that or felt that.
The look on Nepiko's face is that of horror and that of stress. You see both of Nepiko's eyes are completely bloodshot, and one of the eyes, a vein seems to have popped, and blood seems to be pooling into one eye. and a trickle down of blood is going from Nepiko's nose. That was not expected.
She sort of looks over to the other surrounding people and kind of looks at them and go, well, that was uncomfortable. And she sort of wipes her hands off on her dress and sort of checks to see if she was bleeding as well, and sort of tends to Nepiko and sort of goes, has this happened before to you?
No. This is a lot of new developments happening in our quaint little corner of the world. And you see Asan helps Nepiko to her feet and helps you as well. Gwen, you see that from the state of Nepiko. She took the brunt of the damage that you would have received.
Okay.
And there's this kind of very anxiety-ridden look on Nepiko's face of seeing the same vision, but more intense. Gwen, dear, I don't think any of us can take this journey to the spires ourselves. We have to tend to the realm itself. I know this is a big favor to ask. Given that Hylas is here, can you join him and the boy here in rooting this evil from our domain?
He sort of looks up to Hylas and goes, I will join you, whatever it takes. And she looks over to Nepiko and nods affirmation.
Nepiko invites you for a hug.
She hugs back and pats her and just sort of pulls away and looks and wipes any excess blood or residue and just goes, please take care of this group while I'm gone. I won't always be watching behind you.
Of course. And as Nepiko says this, you see her pull out this small little flower. You know that with Nepiko, every flower given has a meaning. But you've never seen Nepiko pull out a lily of the valley before. But from what you've been taught, a lily of the valley means to this coven means protection, means safety on a tough, incredibly arduous journey ahead. And as Nepiko hands you this flower, you see just the flower itself start to bloom a little bit, infused with this druidic magic that you carry, this kind of druidic witch magic that you carry, and she smiles with this kind of look of kind of following in the same path of how the leader of the Angels Fury Guild sent you off without wanting to do so. It's as if Nepiko has no choice in this moment but to leave you with this task. And the feeling of guilt is palpable, but at the same time, that same look signifies to you that she does want you to come home safe.
She looks at the flower, recognizing that it is something incredibly important. And is Nepiko like kind of holding it out for her to take, or is she just holding it?
She's holding it for Gwyn to take.
Okay, so she'll take it from Nepiko and sort of wrap it around the tip of her staff. And at her feet, her little raccoon buddy, she sort of taps her shoulder, and Jax sort of runs up her side and sits, and she sort of looks to Jax and then to Hylas and goes, "So, where are we off to now?"
Let's see. Probably off towards one of these spires. Seems to be our next course of action.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break. And we'll be back to you shortly with the next part of this adventure. See you guys in just a second. And we're back. So, as you guys make your way through and around the Atline Forest, the vegetation here is still shifting, moving, and nothing out of the ordinary for you specifically, Gwen, but it's just the sight of the forest itself is still like interesting to you, Felipe. So, as you guys make your way around the forest, are you guys heading back through Duskhaven, or are you guys heading straight towards the spire, more or less?
Oh, that I leave up to our commanding officer, but duty would permit us to head directly to the spire, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree.
Very
Time is
well.
definitely of the essence.
Quick time now.
Alright, so, as you guys make your way through, let me have a look-see at the map again, myself, just to see here. Roughly that was 5 hours of travel, so it'd be another 5 back. So I'd say along the ridge of the mountain, entering the forest towards Duskhaven, is where you guys would be a bit exhausted. You guys can go ahead and book it back to Duskhaven to make your way through the city to the spire, leading the main road, to like kind of lessen the risk in a way of encountering any dangerous beasts. But if you guys choose to not rest and just book it directly to a spire, there would be consequences for that.
So it would be impossible to set up camp while taking necessary precautions.
You guys can set up camp on the edge of the mountains towards the forest on the 8th hour, roughly, of your travel. It entirely depends on you guys if you want to take a long rest, if you want to take a short rest.
I would say I'm almost certain that keeping a campsite concealed and not easily spotted by, like, ne'er-do-wells and the woods is definitely something that must fall under partisan, surely.
Right. Yeah, 100%. And if anyone wants to give advantage to that,
I'll assist.
all right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and create a nice concealed campsite, somewhere where we could do like a decent rest and then like get a shift for watching as well.
I will ask before you roll. Are you specifically trying to make this camp for a long rest or a short rest? Like for about an hour or about few hours time?
Commander?
How long have we been out and about? Thus
I'd
far.
this far, heading back from the forest, like along the shoreline, I would say it has been about 8 hours as you guys are entering the hills, the hillside of it all again. So you guys are approaching that part of like, yeah, I'm getting tired. I've been like on my feet for like almost 10 hours at this point. They're almost 10 to 12 hours. There is a point of like, yeah, you need a
I mean,
long rest at this point.
it's getting dark.
It is,
It's getting dark.
well, I would say it's getting dark, but you don't see the sun.
Mhm.
I love this world so much.
It would be getting dark if the entire sky was not choked with ash.
Got it.
It isn't
I would
midday.
definitely say we should definitely try to take a long rest, hunker down, to stay safe.
Mhm.
Long-term overnight-based preparation too, then.
All right, so I will lay this out. This is a DC of 15, but again, you're rolling with your partisan, so spend a hope to add that +2, and add that D6 from advantage from Gwen.
All right, 1 minute. Just going to compute all of that into the bot channel. Stand by. Stand by. Okay. And can I ask, which of my stats would this come under, perhaps, like, DM? Would this be based on instinct, I assume?
I would say that's more maybe knowledge, because
Oh,
you're
well, flat then, okay.
perceive, sense, navigate.
If it isn't-
Actually, never mind. Yeah, it would more constitute towards instinct because you are. This is technically part of a navigation role in a way.
And I'm going to be very, very glad for that advantage. Thank you very much, Gwen, because this is only going to come out to a +1 in this case.
Okay.
"14 with fear, so I gain a fear. So that is a failure.
Oh, God.
As you're looking around for like a spot along the crack side near shore, maybe just to get like maybe like the crashing of waves to like muffle any sound you guys make, you do end up looking around, and the thing you don't spot is the thing you don't think to look for.
Hold on there, storyteller. I'm not sure if the bot included the D6.
Oh! Alright.
I'm at least I'm guessing that's the case if I'm reading this correctly.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so you rolled. Yeah, so go ahead. Yeah, so you rolled a 3, you rolled a 2. Yeah. Mod +1. So go ahead and roll that d6. That's one shy. Good catch.
Sorry, I forgot the exact roll for how to do a D6 in this bot.
+3.
Somebody else did it.
+3. You're good. I did it. Exclamation point R.
Woo! Maybe we did spot something, but it has just missed us.
As you kind of look around, you're looking around and you feel like you do see something on the edge of your vision, but you notice it and it vanishes from your sight as you're looking for a good spot to set up camp.
So a success, but still with fear in that case.
As you do, can I have both Gwyn and Hylas go ahead and make me instinct perception rolls, please? As this is happening.
Which skill?
Instinct, perception, perceive.
Instinct. Okay.
Yep.
There's a 24 with fear.
And mine's a 16 with fear.
All right.
We're just dumping fear on Tom.
Yep.
Very much appreciated, you lot. Very much appreciated. So that was a 24 and a
16.
16. I'm going to spend a fear as you two see as the youngin has picked a spot with a very clear demonic presence here. From what you see is there is this spectral kind of skeletal red crimson creature that is blending into the stone with its intangibility just going into the stone and escaping out of sight with what you see is a massive sword at its side with a glowing blue core and blue eyes just kind of peering through the stone itself for a little bit and just vanishing into the stone itself. You feel still uneasy about the spot, and that includes you, Felipe, after seeing the glimpse of that as well. But given that you all, after marching for an additional almost 4 hours at this point, are exhausted, you kind of have no choice but to stay here.
Alright then. What's a song then? He pulls out his Wheelix songbook. So poachable as I am told, keep up your gallant heart, and think about those poachers bold, a night in Rufford Park. Oh, that one might be a bit easy, actually.
As you sing that little ditty of yours, Felipe, as you guys are prepping for a rest, is anybody taking watch, or because as you guys are as we are winding down to a long rest, we do have the downtime action of keeping watch. The Curse of Malignant Fire represents the ever-present dangers of the setting, given what you just saw. When the party finishes a short or long rest while not in the vicinity of the portent protection walls, like in Duskhaven, roll a d12 for the Curse of Malignant Fire and consult the following list. And with danger ever abounding, those who brave the blazing wilds can keep watch in hopes of preventing the terrors of the curse from finding them. Some of you can stay vigilant. This is completely lifted from the Age of Umbra book with a couple of tweaks. Just the descriptions. If as you guys are making camp, who would like to stay and watch, or are you guys just all resting?
As I made the error of picking a demonically infested spot, I will offer to take the first watch, sir.
Gwen will look at Felipe and go, I will take second watch.
Alright. So, actually this is only needed for one person, I will say, for a long rest.
Then I will take the watch, sir!
A little bit of reprieve is well needed. But... Oh, 1 second, sorry. I clicked the wrong button. Hold on. So, Elias, what we're gonna be doing is take a d12.
Got it.
Take a d12 and roll it.
What is the command for rolling a d12 in this?
R exclamation point R d12 space d12. I'm gonna go ahead and roll a d12 as well, below board. You can decide to take your roll or decide to take mine.
Right. Now, in this case, I must confirm ahead of time, are low numbers good or bad?
Low numbers are bad. The higher you get, the
Cool.
better it is.
Grand. And once more, that's exclamation point R 1d12.
Exclamation points R space 1d12 or d12. You don't need to type the 1.
All right, I'm rolling when you are.
I've already rolled. Okay.
I've got an 11, and I think I'm going to keep that, actually.
I will say, are you sure? Elias?
And I say, I need to look at your face. Say that again.
Sounds like
Are
a
you
fake
sure?
Don't trust him.
Am I sure that the second highest result on a d12 dice is somehow better than what you rolled? There is a probably 11 and 12 chance that I am definitely the right one here, and there's a 1 in 12 chance that you have something really better. I am going to go with my gut and keep my roll.
I rolled a 12.
You motherfucker! I hate you! I hate you! A pox on thy house, sir! A pox on thy house, sir!
So, Felipe, if you'd like to describe how the characters rest undisturbed with no effect.
Is that actually the result, or am I just tripping?
That is your result.
Okay, great.
My result is describe how the characters stumble upon a hopeful omen. Each PC gains a hope.
Aww! So I freaked out because it was something that was just above being. I wish I'd reserved that for a reaction where we'd like run into a dragon or something. I'm sorry. Anyway, to describe how it goes, I think that what happens is that Felipe is doing a proper by the book partisan circuit around the camp. Like, he is not using his lantern, he's staying just within the realm of the firelight, doing a full rotation, and he is not humming to himself because you would never make additional sounds if necessary when you're on sentry. Instead, he is just in his mind, imagining the drum, imagining something that's keeping rhythm with him and everybody else as he was a kid. When he started off early, he would have been just a wee scout. He'd be learning stuff like survival training, basic medicine, how to you do stuff, and then you gradually move up to combat tactics and then guerrilla warfare. And when he is finally done with his rest, and he sees that his companions are resting, he's going to go over, he's going to take from his mess his little beaten up pewter tin, stick it on the coals, and then pour a little bit of water to make himself a well-earned cup of tea, and have a slice of bread, and some of that jam, and maybe just a little bit of nut butter, to really take it off, wolf it down, and then get ready to, take his well-deserved rest when he thinks, based on his clock, dawn is coming.
On the internal clock, all you rest well. And I will go ahead and ask, as you guys are sleeping, Gwen and Hylas, can each of you roll a d6 for me as well, please?
Oh dear.
D6. I got a 2.
2?
I got a 6.
Okay. Lowest roll wins in this instance. Gwen. While your body is rested, as you're sleeping, there is this sort of crawling up your spine, in a way, in the back of your mind as you're resting. Your dreams don't tend to harm you. I will spend a fear for this, actually, as well, because this is an instance that is required. When you sleep, you don't often see harsh visions in your dreams. There's something that you see, maybe visions of nature, maybe visions of a pleasant random moment. Right now, what you see is a spire top being engulfed in flame, but the flame then subsiding upon that spire and that platform. On the edge of it, you start to see a somewhat infernus-looking figure. It's not anyone that you recognize, but you see just piercing red eyes, dark red skin, white goatee and hair, massive horns, pointed ears, and within this vision you see just arcana in just purples, yellows, oranges, and reds light up one of the arms, as if it's trailing from the top of the fingers and coiling around like a snake. And after this figure just fully alights their hand, you get the full light of them. Black cloak, black robes that are more or less shortened and tucked into a waistband, a slender snake tattoo over the arm that's not a lit, and a long spade tail. And the biggest thing that you see is the clothes on this figure are stained with blood. The piercing red eyes, piercing through the black sclera, they seem to be piercing into you as well, as you just wake up with this kind of crick in your neck that you just shake off. It seems that like the negative feedback is still making its way into your mind in this instance, warning you of the things to come.
She will sort of get her bearings if she wakes up from that, and sort of just try and get a handle on where she, just sort of take note of where she's at, and, try and figure out, what it was and what was happening, and yeah.
I will say as well, since you've all completed a long rest, you can tend to all your wounds, clear all your stress, repair all your armor, whatever you so choose out of those. Two of the following moves. So I'd say, like, you guys can clear all the stress you have, given that I did give a couple of stress, and you guys want to work on a project in the meantime, because we did not have any other resource depletions.
What qualifies as a project?
Working on a project, establish or continue to work on a project. Basically, like anything, like downtime-wise, like making a new item or like preparing a weapon of some sort.
Well, there's a question, my fellow comrades in arms. What are we expecting to do when we get to the Spire? What is our primary mission objective?
That is a good question.
Is it a purpose of reconnaissance, or are we doing seek and destroy?
I think first reconnaissance, and if we think there is a way to possibly infiltrate and destroy, then we move forward.
And we can expect the terrain to get increasingly more fire and brimstone, demonic and terrible as we approach the Spire, but most likely.
Elias, you would
Most
know.
likely.
Perhaps a project might be to begin creating some sort of camouflage to that effect, almost an infernal ghillie suit.
And how would you go about making that?
I would begin by staining our various clothes using any ash or residual things in the environment, using what little broken and shattered scrub we could, attaching that to our exteriors. Thus, if we are needing to stand still, we may appear to be part of the environment. There were two legendary halflings of the partisans that managed to get all the way to the gates of a demonic sigil using just such tactics.
Let me jot that down.
It is only one proposal. If we wanted to go for the more offensive one, we could look towards preparing any ordnance that we might have with us that I have no inclined to mention is in my backpack.
I think maybe we recon first, and then we can decide whether or not we need to make more preparations. I keep getting this. And she sort of like looks up and around, like sort of in the direction that she feels like we're being watched, and goes, I get this feeling that we may need to get more information before we can decide what we want to do. But I'm all for concealing ourselves in some way or capacity. Maybe we go stealthily in some way.
It's the partisan's way, ma'am!
I definitely agree. Just who we have here.
Okay, in which case, I reckon that what we would use would be, for example, some of our bed blankets, like something like that, and begin attaching vegetation, lightly tailoring them so that they're large enough to conceal, for example, larger parts of our gear. There is going to be stuff we're going to have to keep above that, like my rifle, for example, needs to go on my back, and the colors, which will be unfurled and stored, they'll also be like on my back as well. But yeah, like it will be a probably like your easy thing we could do as part of a downtime project. Aye?
Yeah, I'd say so. If you can, if you want, I'd say, given the terror from this one, it'd be like a start of it. Like you kind of get the idea of like starting this, and I feel like next long rest, if dire circumstances are not present, I feel like you can finish at least yours within that downtime.
Sweet, yeah, we can start on that then.
So that would be on the next long rest, which I would say.
Oh, the next one. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, given the fact of the matter that you are very close to like, basically like you were very close to encountering something terrifying in this moment that wanted to engage with you. Let me just have a look.
Perhaps. Are there some arcane protections that our your scholarly companion might be able to bestow upon us?
Gwen looks up at Jax, and on her shoulder, you see like this really, just to like give you all an idea of what this little raccoon looks like, as it sort of sits on Gwen's shoulder. It is a typical like normal sized raccoon, you know, but it is definitely more alive than most raccoons. And it's got sort of like a fade to white tip raccoon tail with like fade to white tipped ears, gray body, and then fade down to dark paws. And she looks down to Jax, which is spelled Jax, and says, well, I could always have Jax scout ahead if you want us to. And I can also, if we want, I do have a way to track things if we find something and we feel like we want to see what some of these, if there's something following us, I can take a look and see if there's something that we should be tracking or following to the spire, if we want to do that too.
Interesting. What rank is Jax?
What is Jax?
Rank! I just need to know if he's my superior officer or not.
Oh, he's below you, and she like takes out like in of her little pouch, like she has like some crummy bread and like hands it up to Jax, and Jax like takes it with both their little paws and like starts nibbling.
All right, Private Jax. Oh, excellent! We've got a raccoon friend.
I don't know what noise raccoons make, but that was close enough.
Chittering.
Okay. All right. So as you guys take off from near the shoreline, it is about 3.5 hours back to Duskhaven by foot. So you guys can get there about midday, like just before midday. Get your bearings and then make your way through Duskhaven towards the Western Spire as well.
Excellent.
If you guys choose to go to Duskhaven, is there anything you guys would like to pick up, or anything you'd like to check, or to meet up with anybody?
Ooh, there's a question actually.
Gwen, since you haven't been in Duskhaven by yourself in I'd say at
In a
all,
while.
correct? In a while?
Yeah. It's been a while since she's been in Duskhaven, and then also she's always with somebody, so she's never been alone.
I mean, technically you're not alone in this instance, but
Yeah.
Oh, I have a gut-wrenching idea actually, Tom.
yes.
Now, I'll wait for Hylas to finish. In fact, I'll actually DM you this because it might be too sad, and you can tell me.
All right. At this point, Gwen, would you even from your brief stints with the leaders of the Coven, would you have known any kind of storefront, more or less, or for like any rations for magical variety, or do you think that the witches have not kind of interacted with anybody and laid low and only done what's necessary within Duskhaven?
I think they would have had like a contact or two, like
Mhm.
specifically for just sort of like getting the like kind of like a under the table, like, is there information we need to know about the forest? Like, is there something going on kind of a situation?
Hmm.
And I'll leave that up to you, like in what capacity like this person would have known from the leaders, but I don't think Gwen would know who that person is. I think she just kind of was like there as like a bodyguard essentially for the leader, who would typically go talk to them. So like, for example, like the leader would be like, okay, just wait right here, guard this door, I'll be right back, and then would like go in a room, talk to somebody, come out and be like, okay, we're gonna stay away from this part of the forest because this such blight or whatever is here, and we're gonna go around and suss it out, or that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I think she wouldn't know who, but there is somebody in town that she feels
Okay.
like would know of the Coven, but her personally would not know.
Yeah. You would also know of the Angels Fury Guild, given that it's such a prominent figurehead within Duskhaven, and like the Dracona leader. I feel like has interacted with the Coven a few times, and you would have met, but at a very brief stint. Like kind of like as again, kind of following your lead of like on the backside being a bodyguard, like. But Hylas, to go to you, you know that the Angel Fury Guild leader did request you to see Gwen specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I will ask this in a way of like with your relationship with the Coven and the Coven leadership, do you feel as that Hylas would report to the Angels Fury Guild that like Gwen is joining the quest, or would this be a matter of like they'll find out when they need to?
Definitely, they'll find out when they need to.
Gotcha. So no report needed back to the big boss.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, besides the Angels Fury Guild, Gwen, you would know a like kind of a taller furbolg. You would know of a taller furbolg that the leaders would have connected with within Duskhaven. Kind of running a small kind of nook and cranny like antique shop. But acting like kind of as a front. Um, you're not sure of their name. You've only like seen like them go in like into kind of a backroom connection with one of the leaders. But it's what you've seen is a taller furbolg, dark long hair, kind of like longer hair like down to their like just past their shoulders, like kind of midway here around the chest. Um, but very much pale complexion. And would Gwen decide to visit them for any information, or kind of avoid that, in a sense, without their leaders present?
I think she wouldn't know,
Hmm.
honestly. Like, I don't think she would know. I mean, she could guesstimate, you know?
Would she guesstimate, or would she just not follow through with it? That's the thing.
Mm,
You guys
yeah, I
have
don't think she
about
would know.
a couple of... Okay, fair enough. So, like, the point of interest there, Hylas, is there anything you'd like to do within the city? We'll leave you for last.
Most likely just refill on supplies and because this seems like it's going to be a bit of a longer trek. Just make sure that there's going to be enough food to get to where we need to go and back.
Yeah, just stocking up on rations. Easy enough to do. I feel like that would be a handful of gold. Just spent on that. Maybe not even a handful, maybe just 10 gold. Like, yeah, that which would be a handful. Yeah, hold on, let me check the gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, no. Actually, no. Given the amount of rations, I'd say that's 2 gold max, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's well enough. So as you guys are kind of making your way around, I'd say it'd be easy enough to split apart in this instance if you guys so choose. But Felipe, you're back in Duskhaven again already, just after a day of travel. There's still this tension within the city. A lot of people are still not, like, they're not in the know of what you guys know about, like, the spires, about even what's going on, like, why, like, where have, like, a lot of the devil hunters have gone as well. In this instance, where would Felipe go for motivation specifically?
Forgot I was in push talk there for a second. The answer to that, storyteller, is thus. Felipe is going to take just a portion of whatever money he was given, from the guild in the previous session. He's going to swing through the markets and grab a few odd bits. Like, he's going to refill on some essential, like, your soldiery supplies, of course, but he's also going to get himself a little half bottle of brandy. He's going to get himself some good tobacco. He's going to get himself, like, a bit of something sweet, some hard-boiled things, like, small little things, and some flowers, maybe even something that kind of smells nice, and he is going to go to the one, like, place in the city that he often does reside, like, when things are really sad, which is the mausoleum of the Lavore partisans. He goes there. That, like, it's a very solemn, like, kind of walk. He's almost like a bit of happiness in his face, strangely enough. Like, but yeah, maybe you could tell me a little bit, maybe what this mausoleum looks like. I wanted to confine it to one place because there's a lot of them, a lot of deaths. I figured it wouldn't be an entire plot. It's going to be a dedicated structure.
The structure that you see is stone. Like, it's more humble than you might think for a family of heroes.
They're soldiers. They keep it humble.
Given the fact of the curse of the malignant fire taking form even post-mortem, a lot of the partisans have taken upon themselves, even in their family, to burn and cremate the remains of each and every single one of their party of their family members. So the mausoleum is smaller and more condensed purely because of that fact as well. But it's one that's still rich with hope. Elias,
In that case, yeah.
there is a scripture at the entrance of the mausoleum. What would it say in the language of the partisan to keep the head strong?
No passaran. They will not pass.
And as you enter in, the air is cold, but it's still... The air is cold, but still feels like home. You see in generations of your family, multiple even, and some retrieved and placed here even before the falling of the Astoria Domain. Some that knew only happiness, only the sun, and were not doomed by this cruel fate.
Aye. Felipe goes straight up, basically looks for... There's like 2 jars. I think the way it works is that you're stacked from the front until it fills all the way to the back. And his parents, therefore, and his grandparents and his aunts and uncles are closer to where there's a place of prominence in the very center, which is the ashes of course, the founder of our family, Rosa Bandiera. And Felipe first, makes the offerings to his family. He pours out a little bit of this fine brandy, a soldier's best friend in the battlefield. Some fine tobacco, lights that a little bit in lieu of incense. Makes puts a boiled sweet next to his aunties because he knows that they were keen on the lemon toffees. And then finally he smiles. He does a really reasonable bow, and then he locksteps like a soldier all the way to his aunt's shrine. And he raises his hand, and he begins to make report of what's going on, what he is going to be doing, the likelihood of his survival, minimal. But yeah. Skirt Partisan Felipe Bandera! Departing for duty, madam! And then strikes it off, and then walks out bold as brass to go and get ready for war.
The silence in this chamber is palpable. But you can't say that you're not remiss in hearing your family's voices. Even through the rough training and the scolding when you messed up. My question is, in this instance, when the last of your family passed, would Felipe be the one to burn their remains on his own?
Oh, aye, absolutely. It needs to be done. It's got to be an internal thing. It's a small ceremony, very, very regimental. Burning them, making sure their weapons are passed down to the next lot because you never waste anything. And then of course, I think maybe there's a ceremonial drop of blood that gets placed on the banner.
As you recall placing your own blood on the banner, seeing the fire burn the last member of your family into cinders, the flame itself, both a blessing and a curse. You think back, and the thought cannot escape your mind at this moment. If you pass on this mission, you are the last one. That weighs on you in this moment, Felipe. But it also emboldens you in a strange way. You have to do this and come back alive. You cannot let the partisans die out with you. And as you step out of the mausoleum, you feel as if a hand is pushing you out. And there's this solemn kind of kind of sense that maybe you are meant for greater things. Maybe this mission will be successful.
Who knows? But the banner's got to fly sometime.
The standard is raised. The banner flies, and you guys are ready for war. As everyone reconvenes and makes their way out of Duskhaven, who wants to lead the charge in navigation for the next path of this journey?
I can do it.
All right, go ahead and make me a instinct roll for me, please.
By the way, just for comedic effect, I think he fell on his face into some mud directly after this. Possibly as a result of the push.
That is a 18 with hope.
Go ahead and take a hope. Easy enough, especially that with your connection to the world as well, Gwen. You kind of estimate that the trek there, you are going to have to slow down your pace a little bit to make it through the forest. Like it's still dead trees, some scattered with some semblance of life, but towards the spire there's still another additional 4 to 5 hours, reaching 6, given the fact that you guys are going to have to take this slower. But the spire itself is in the horizon, and you see it, and you cannot avoid it. Your eyes are almost transfixed on it with that high roll.
Okay.
And as you're leading through the forest itself, the dead trees creaking in the wind, the sound of the trees just swaying. It's strangely calming, but still, it's a march for battle. And as it progresses, can I get Hylas and Felipe to go ahead and make instinct rolls for me as well? Just to perceive anything. I'll say go for it. And Hylas, you can go ahead and add advantage for this, because this is, again, this is the surrounding area near Duskhaven. You've been here more than enough.
Finally, with hope. 24 with hope.
24 with hope. Very nice.
Oh wait, this was instinct?
Yes.
25.
Nice. Here. Thank you.
16 with fear, yes.
Okay. So with everything just kind of like melding into each other as you guys are passing through the forest, you do notice a few things here and there. But nothing out of the ordinary. And for you, Hylas, it's again seemingly calm. Seemingly too calm in a way. But the forest is clear, and the spire is just in front of you. As you guys are navigating through, again, a full day of travel, not just from the spot that you guys were, just from the spot near the shoreline right now. About 2, maybe 3 hours, I'd say about like just under an hour walk away from the spire itself, on like near the edge of the forest itself. You are getting exhausted.
Permission to locate a suitable campsite with assistance, sir.
Permission granted. And stop asking every time.
Alright. Sir. I had to chase myself there. Forgive me, I'm not.
and a wee bit drunk.
Just a bit. I suppose
Teensy.
barely any brandy would affect him.
Teensy. Okay. And I will say, with that high roll, Hylas, you do see a familiar Dracona figure tailing you guys a bit farther behind. Keeping hidden, but your eyes, your seasoned veteran eyes, do spot our rogue kind of trailing behind you all in this instance. And as you all and Hylas, you look around, you do see not only just the rogue, but you do see a few, just above the dead tree canopies, you do see a few creatures, like, circling around this edge of the forest. And it's as if, like, they're not searching for something, they're just flying around for shits and giggles. It's something you haven't seen before necessarily, but it's not alarming in a sense. You've dealt with imps before. The thing that
You think
does.
you've seen anything like that before?
Oh, go ahead. Was this addressed to who? Sorry, Hylas.
To Quinn.
If she's seen anything like that before. I don't know. Has she, Tom?
that is up to you. That is up to you. The landscape itself is filled with demonic creatures to begin with. So it is not out of the question that Gwen might see it, but it is up to you to decide if she has or not.
I've seen all sorts of things, but nothing like that.
I almost had a silly idea of Felipe's parents having little imp-shaped cutouts with targets like I'm written on them for like sharpshooting practice.
I feel like Hylas would have seen them at least once or twice too.
Okay.
The cutouts for shooting.
I think.
This seems like new behavior.
Yeah, I think she hasn't really seen. I mean, she's seen some of it, but I don't think to this extent.
It has
like,
quite intensified. It has quite intensified, I will say, so.
Yeah, I think she has it to this extent. I think she'll go, no, not like this.
We definitely need to keep our what's about us then. Starting to think that might have something. This might have something to do with those towers.
No smoke, sir?
Best not for now.
Alright, like no campfire then. Cold meat and bread for dinner.
Fair enough. As you guys set up camp, is anyone keeping watch this time around?
Hylas will keep watch.
I was gonna say yeah, because I don't know if there was like such a thing as night vision or anything like that in the system.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Middi, do you know? Because I'm not sure if dark vision is the thing.
There isn't really dark vision per se. It would say like in your features and stuff if you could see like something specific. So it's more so like, can we see it in terms of like, like, is it so dense like for the fiction, that maybe we could or could not see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't like dark vision or things like that. And if there was, I think it like specifies that you can see like magical stuff. You know what I mean? Like magical darkness or whatever kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Right so.
I'd say at this point you can just about see the edge of the forest and like through the canopy. And given the fact that like the Astoria Domain, with it being plunged in this basically like eternal fire, there is like kind of dim light across the realm, even in nighttime.
Oh, it's kind of like that whole "where's the illumination coming from in hell" kind of like thing.
You are literally on the border of hell and earth. So,
to that end, then maybe we should take this opportunity, myself and our witchy companion, to start working on those cloaks.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys can go ahead and work on a project. I will actually, since you guys are doing this as long rest, I will point out you guys are technically preparing. So, you guys are technically preparing for the challenges ahead. So, since both of you are doing like crafting stuff and stuff like that over this long rest, both of you can gain 2 hope if you have any empty slots. Because you are preparing over this long rest, so. And Hylas, as you're keeping watch during this long rest.
My boy Felipe is just full of hope.
Indeed. Let's see how long that lasts. So, do you want to go ahead and roll off? See what we have for the long rest? Yeah. Okay. All right. What'd you roll?
Okay. I rolled an 11.
That actually doesn't matter.
Did you roll another 12, Tom?
That actually doesn't.
Did you roll another 12?
No, I will say it actually doesn't matter if mine or Nemo's is taken, because we both rolled an 11.
Everyone's rolling 11. This is great. 11.
But as the fire and brimstone of the skies above is kind of casting the dim light on the forest as you guys are making those like stealth cloaks with twigs and stuff like that and debris, you guys are undisturbed for your long rest. And
just muttering some soldier songs, like trying to keep a rhythm and remember how to stitch.
Fair enough. I will not request a roll for this. And as you guys are working through this long rest as well, like relaxing and making these cloaks, they turn out fun. They turn out good. They turn out serviceable, and especially with Gwyn. Gwyn, would you have sewn before? I feel like that's more of a no-brainer, like at least stitching clothes together after a rough day's travel.
Absolutely. I think she would know, especially with the Coven and stuff being mostly like nomadic in that sense. I think, they would naturally have like basic like sewing and putting things together, like craftsmanship. I think she would definitely know.
Mm-hmm. And even I'd say you do know some aspects of arcane mending, of like twisting like a branch back together, or like if a staff is broken on like an unnecessary end of like where the magic isn't broken, but it's the wood itself needs to be sewn back together. You kind of know of like it's easy enough to replicate kind of a mending spell as well. So I feel like that's kind of something you would pick up on.
Okay.
Yes, Elias, what were we gonna say?
No, I was just gonna ask if it was like a Norn thing, like about weaves and patterns and fates and stuff like that. But that's also cool.
I feel like it's easy enough to just kind of create the cloaks, and again, easy enough to make one for Hylas as well. So make sure everyone is wrapped up in camo. But with the spire up ahead, and with the fire and brimstone leading to this somewhat early morning, As you guys are rested, you're looking out, and the spire itself, reaching into the sky, it seems impossibly tall. Yes, Felipe.
So approximately, what kind of distance are we gauging from the tree line to the spire?
Tree line to the spire itself, I'd say maybe 1 second. Like, you are within a mile away, I'd say. Roughly, maybe, within, like, 2 miles away.
I would like to tell me if it'd be out of the realm of my gear, like I'm talking to produce a spyglass.
It'd be a bit cracked. It'd be
would it be?
No, it would be cracked, like the spyglass itself, like the lens of it, but you could produce it. It is an older one.
Okay, well, it's still a tool. So yeah, before we even begin exiting the tree line, can I get any kind of gauge of anything around the tower surroundings? Potential fobs, as in forward operating bases, sections, or like potentially some of the other kind of nasties. It's a tower. We've got a large presence around an open area. There's a lot of chance for people to be exposed.
Go ahead and roll instinct with partisan for me, please. Go ahead and subtract a hope for partisan. And I think with that, we're gonna wrap up session with this result. Critical success! Look at you! Yay! Hell yeah!
Oh, all right.
First crit of the campaign.
To end on.
First crit of the campaign. So you gain a hope. You clear stress, which you gain that hope back. And you start with a full value of, this was a roll on an attack roll. You gain the full value of your damage dice, then make another damage roll plus modifiers, adding to that value. So, with that critical success, Felipe, you notice that the spire itself is in 6 sections. And each section is taller than the last. But it's weird. It's like some parts, like you could see from like an open, like caverning opening in the spire. The steps themselves start to like kind of get more steep, as if like the sections themselves extend as if like as they were a spyglass itself. You see them, and you see itself, the spire, there are prongs along, like, the top of it, like, kind of acting as if they were devil horns themselves. And with that critical success, you see the faintest lighting of arcana around the, like, acting as a bit of a barrier around the top of this, of the spire itself. And just kind of producing this kind of webbing of of magic thread along the basis of the top. And from what you see as well, surrounding the spire, it's surrounded by imps of differing shapes and sizes as they're airborne and circling around the spire, acting as kind of bats on a vampiric castle.
I specifically took myself a push to talk so I could end on this line. He takes in all that information. He goes, "Wow, I don't know what the fuck any of that is."
And that's where we'll end tonight's episode.
God.
Amazing.
Oh. Wow. What a note to end on, indeed. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks for episode number 3 of Devil Hunter X Trigger. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!
Adios, everyone.